Hello and welcome to the Investing Bros. I am T Shroom, and we're going to be jumping into the Avalanche charts here, asking the question, could AVAX get up to $70 per coin? It hasn't done this yet in 2024. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the charts. We'll be getting to an article asking the same question as well, and some supporting facts as to whether or not I think it's going to make that leap or not. We're starting out here on the weekly chart, and you got to hand it to AVAX here. Starting off the week very strong with a candle up 8.7%. It's impressive. Last week's candle had a very even more impressive close. Some might even call it a god candle. I don't think I would. But 38.7%, looking real good. Had one similar level, also 69% back here. But folks, we're well off the midline of the Bollinger Band here, signaling quite a bit of bullishness here for the weekly chart analysis. Zooming in on ALGO's oscillator matrix, you can kind of see that, yes, we have a reversal delta here in play on the weekly. So that is something to keep in mind here. That's kind of the storm cloud, kind of the wet blanket on top of this analysis. But down here, your money flow is positive. It is green. And your hyperwave, after all, is moving up and to the right after getting a green dot there. So all of those are bullish. If you don't know what those mean, we talk about ALGO here on the Investing Bros quite a bit. You'll learn a lot about how to use that awesome indicator, and you can actually get access to that indicator down in the links to the description of this video. Taking a look at the MACD here, another oscillator. You can see there's been a huge uptick here in the green histograms, and the MACD lines have just been like, hey, let's go bullish. They're just like, we can't be bullish enough. We're going to be even more bullish. So that's good. Drilling down here onto the daily charts here, we can get a little bit more honed in. Still elevated here on the upper Bollinger Band here on the daily chart. Not too much of a surprise here, but let me just go ahead and draw the line of what we would need to get to $70 per AVAX. That's going to be right around in here. And from current live prices, that would mean that we would have to get another 10%. So it seems very close, but it's still another 10% away. Now for crypto, 10%, you could see that in a day, right? But if you go over to the bubbles for today, you're already up 13%, right? So AVAX is already leading the pack. There's some that are doing better than AVAX here, but in terms of the pack of the top 100, AVAX is in the top 10, right? Movers of the day. Dog Whiff Hat, of course, doing very, very well. We've actually got a headline around that one here in just a second. What their NFT, they minted this image, I guess, and sold it as an NFT, and it sold for quite a coin there. We'll check that out here in a second. But back over to the AVAX charts. You can see that there's a lot going on here that is indicating that this could be the run for AVAX. I'm seeing mostly bullish indications here. We did see that green delta line on the weekly. You do get you'd also get a red delta here as well. So that's going to be bearish. But overall here, you are seeing a higher high being put in by the hyperwave, and that can be bullish as well. Let's throw on one of these fibs that I've had drawn here. Yeah, not that one. Yeah. So what we're seeing here, this is a much longer time frame Fibonacci, but what we're seeing here is if we can break out of the golden pocket, which it looks like we are scheduled to do this today, if we can get a nice candle body close outside of 62.9, really 63, that is going to mark a significant bullish penetration higher, right? This will be bullish. So we need to really see this daily candle close above 63. If we don't, then we probably will, come back and trade sideways, come back and test the bottom level of the golden pocket, and maybe even pass through it, come back, flip support, blah 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 blah. But if we are able to get a candle body close above 63 and then come back and flip that resistance to support, then we could be off to the races and seeing $70 per AVAX in no time. But it's not just me who's predicting a $70 AVAX. And by the way, I wouldn't say I'm predicting it. I mean, it looks inevitable this year and maybe even this quarter. but you know, I'm just trying to read the tea leaves, just trying to see what is going on here. Could we potentially hit it? Before I get to this article that has a lot more details about how we could potentially see an AVAX at $70 per coin, let me jump into the chat here and see who is hanging out here. We got Steve E. Shrum, Sativio Shramoto as well, said, what's going on? What's going down? So that's good. We'll look at some names that might be going down. Army Piper jumping in said, and good morning again. Hey, Gia and Justin, I believe Army Piper has begun his vacation. So he's tweeting at us. Nobody's tweeting at us. He is commenting there on his vacation. Let's see. Crypto Freddy said, Bitcoin. Ha 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 ha. Good morning, my bros. Absolutely. So, I mean, we jumped right into AVAX here, but what you all should know is that Bitcoin, it had a dump right before the weekend, has not really recovered from that, I would say. Now, dump probably isn't the right word. Let's go to the charts here so I can illustrate this outside of just the English language here. You saw a move here that was pretty significant. It was a move of about 10%. So you could even call it 12 if it's probably wick to wick. Yeah, about maybe even 13. Not a dump. Sorry. Shouldn't have called it a dump. It's not a dump. We saw a bigger move here in this red candlestick of about 15%. So we've seen these are little micro pullbacks. You really want to see 20, 30, even 40% around this time. Now, when I say want to see, you may disagree with that, and that's okay. But what I would have wanted to see was a move that goes ahead and pulls all the way back 20% down to 58. Now, why would I say that? Why would you want something to move down? Well, it has to do with price structure. We want a more balanced price structure. Also, want to buy back lower at 58. But the nature of the market right now is very, very bullish, as you've seen, and so a pullback down that low is probably asking for too much. Now we're in kind of an interesting spot right here because we're a little bit pinched between 64, which did go ahead and improve as support, 64, and then now the question is, can we get back up above? And let me go down to the 4-hour for this. Can we get back above this uptrending line of resistance now? And I don't know. We'd have to, first of all, we put in a lower high here, right? So you've got that down slope there. That's no bueno. We're going to need to really find some kind of catalyst to get back up above here and flip this back into support to resume higher. And I just don't know. I think that probably the buyers are a bit exhausted, or at least they're patient. They're saying, "Hey, let's let this thing cool down a little bit, and let's see if we can get it to go a little lower so that we can buy at a discount." Because Bitcoin has just been going higher and higher and higher, and a lot of intelligent traders, a lot of intelligent investors have been sitting on the sidelines saying, "Well, I don't want to buy something while it's super hot and just moving up, up, up." They would rather come back down and buy down here, or maybe even down here at 53. We have here at the Investing Bros, we even have predictions at 48. So 48 is another level to potentially watch. I'm becoming more and more convinced that we just won't see that. We really won't see south of 58, in my opinion. Based on this price action that we've seen so far during this pullback, 58 is asking for a lot. Now, there are such things as events. There are things that can happen that can get into the headlines that can change the perspective of the markets on a dime. Oh, we've got a chat here. Dealey Crypto said, T-Shroom is the Dave Ramsey of crypto. Always has good advice. And I really appreciate you guys tuning in here from my studios in Tennessee. Okay, we're taking a look at crypto. It's none of it's financial advice. Okay, it's just life advice. It's just awesome advice. And we're going to get you debt-free through crypto. Not really. If you're in a bunch of debt, you should probably be paying that off, not trading or investing in crypto, unless it's like a mortgage or some kind of healthy debt. All right, let's take a look here at this AVAX article, because after all, we're talking about AVAX today. But of course, we had to take a short pit stop over at had to take a pit stop over on the Bitcoin charts just to give some folks a little bit more macro context. Another Dave Ramsey quote here. Hold on. I don't I don't like a lot of Dave Ramsey's advice. T-Stream is way better in advice. Thanks. And of course, I don't talk about any advice. This is all just my thoughts. Let's see. Brutal said thoughts on starting to roll Bitcoin into alts. Only worried about Coinbase SEC case. Ooh, interesting. I would not be worried about that's an interesting point. People are not, at this point in time, the U.S. judicial system has voted not voted, but they've ruled against the SEC. What is it, 4 times now? I think that Coinbase has pretty good odds in winning that case with the SEC. Should you be rolling into altcoins from Bitcoin? I mean, the answer to that is, what I would try to do is not sell my Bitcoin and just use my income to buy altcoins. Why? Because this cycle could be very, very different for Bitcoin. I'm going to go back to the Bitcoin charts here. Let's go out to the weekly. This has been a very, very insane cycle for Bitcoin, right? Since the lows to wick, we're up 380% here before the halving. Now, Bitcoin could be entering a unique cycle where there's a sell the news event for the halving, but likely and historically, so that's why I say likely, there's actually going to be a continued bullish catalyst around the halving. There might be a pullback, and then post halving, there's going to be a big move that we're all expecting. And I got to get to some news here, so I won't linger on this too much. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at Bitcoin's price action just out here on the weekly, right? You just take away all the drawings and all the indicators here. You can see, man, this thing is at its all-time highs, and it's trying to figure out, does it push lower, or does it have some price discovery lower? Does it push higher, or does it have some price discovery lower to try to solidify some of these levels, right? Because it really needs to come back and retest some of these major levels. 60, is a pretty good psychological number to come back and retest, I would say. But there's all those levels that I indicated before that should come back and get retested as well. But there's just a lot of bullishness in this space. A lot of that has to do with the ETFs. Okay, but if we come back and we look at AVAX, right, another coin that we're analyzing today, what do you notice that's different? Well, it's got a lot of movement up to its all-time high, 100% that it could make, right? And up to the wicks, add another 40% to that, right? So should you be buying alts? I'm buying alts. I haven't bought Bitcoin in a while, in a couple months. Why? Because it's not on discount, right? AVAX is on discount. Cardano is on an extreme discount. Look how much it's going to be to the highs. 361%, right? Ethereum is getting pretty close to those all-time highs, right? So from where it is now, it's got another 30%, 36%. So that's not that much, right? So Ethereum hasn't really been getting bought by me. I haven't been buying a whole lot of Ethereum because it has less potential. Okay. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Another name here, Matic. It's got 180% upside, right? Better than Ethereum, better than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has 0% upside from just potentially hitting its all-time high because it's already there, right? At least on a weekly analysis. This is very, very broad, speaking very broadly. Of course, we got to check out Solana because the opportunity here for Solana is almost over, right? Only 25%, kind of in a similar boat to Ethereum, right? It's basically there. It's just a putt to all-time highs. So that's why you think you're seeing a lot of movement into AVAX, is because people are asking that exact question that we just got here. Is, should I rotate out of Bitcoin and into altcoins? I personally am not selling a single sat, right? I'm not selling my Bitcoin to rotate into altcoins. Some people do that. That is a legitimate strategy for sure. If you're asking if we're in that time of the cycle yet, the answer is no. We're not in altcoin season yet. That's just not the case. I don't have that image up that illustrates the different seasons, but you really have to have Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin by a long shot, right? And then that happens over a period of time, and then you get into altcoin season where the altcoins start to pump harder than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin starts to lose its dominance. We're not there yet. So if that's the question you're asking, no. And that is where most people will start to sell their Bitcoin and buy altcoins. No, this is just buy cheap coins right now, right? And Bitcoin is the opposite of a cheap coin. Do I think it's going to go higher? I absolutely do. And by the way, let's go ahead and get into this AVAX article. AVAX price prediction, can it reach $70? We've kind of already answered that question that it inevitably will, but can it do it this week? Can it do it next week? A similar surge to 75% profitable holders was last witnessed 2021. So this is kind of a big deal here. We have surged to 75% profitable holders with AVAX wallets. After that surge, AVAX price experienced a substantial rise from $75 to $117 within just 20 days. So an aggressive move higher. Is this what we're seeing here on AVAX? Is this the beginning of that another very aggressive move higher from, I think it said 75 to 117. So that was a 56% move in 20 days. So that's aggressive. And it could be potentially that we're going to be seeing that on AVAX here very, very soon. This historical context illuminates the importance of the historical break-even price as a metric. Essentially, this metric gauges the average price at which all current holders would neither gain nor lose money, offering insights into the overall profitability of an investment in the cryptocurrency market over time. So we're seeing something that happened historically, it's happening again, and now we're asking the question, could the result of that event be mimicked here in the present? If the uptrend continues, we could witness an ascent of $70 mark. That would be the first time since 2022 that AVAX has reached that price, a noteworthy increase of 16.67% of its current value. To be able to do that, and we looked at the Fibonacci already, to be able to do that, AVAX would need to break its key resistance of $63. And look at this. As of today, we have broken that, right? Throwing that Fibonacci back on. We've already broken this. Oh, I've got everything hidden. That's why. We've already broken through the top line of this golden pocket, which is important. As of right now, actually, we've gotten a bit back below it. Well, I'm on the weekly. Let's go back to the 4 hour. Right. Okay, perfect. So this is the opposite. So we have not broken back through. I mean, maybe on the weekly, that's why it made sense, but we're getting a candlestick here. Honestly, this could be that confirmation of flipping this to support that we need. 63, a crucial number. The Fibonacci saying it, and this article saying it. The next levels would be 65, 67. However, they don't seem as strong compared to the AVAX support zones. Okay. So do I think we can get there? I do. What kind of time period do I think that we can get there in? Well, 20 days sounds pretty good, right? We just heard from that article that once the wallet holders are in average profit at 75%, meaning 75% of them are averaged out to be in profit on their holdings in AVAX, you saw quite a bit of upside in the next 20 days, right? I think it was like 50 something. I know I just did it, but I completely forgot what it was. So that would look like this, right? 11%. I think we can do it. I think we could do it in 20 days. So that's kind of what I'm watching here. If we come back below here, right, and print a candle, even on the 4 hour, I would say, then that's probably not going to happen, or it's less likely to happen, meaning that sprint to 70, especially if we start to come back and show that we're going to test this lower band of the golden pocket and flip that to resistance. Then it's going to take much longer. But what I'm guessing is that, we do a little diddle in here. We'll be a little silly with it, and then that'll eventually flip it, and we'll make a move higher, and then it'll take place over the course of time. I'm way too zoomed in to be making that specific to make it look like that. It's going to look more like this, and to get there in 20 days, we would get there like something like that. So that's kind of my AVAX analysis overall today. Let's get into some more headlines here. Solana crosses $200 as meme coin frenzy bumps demand for Solana network. Don't know that there's a whole lot more to really evaluate there. Let's go ahead and get to more Bitcoin specific stuff, but give it up for Solana. Solana has been a powerhouse this cycle, doing really, really well. Decrypto, D-Lee, will Tim return back to the mornings? Probably not. Looking like for now he's not going to do that. Am I not spicy enough for you? Is tea shroom not enough? Do you need more for the mornings? No, I know you love Tim. So do I. We might get him on one or two morning shows here or there, but we'll see. Standard Chartered raised year-end Bitcoin forecast to 150,000 and sees 2025 high of $250,000 worth of No, I totally botched that. You know what I mean. 250 Bitcoin. That would be very, very bullish. So this is Standard Chartered's quote on their update, their price prediction higher here. We think that the gold analogy in terms of both ETF impact and optimal portfolio mix remains a good starting point for estimating the correct Bitcoin price level medium term, the note said. If ETF inflows reach our midpoint estimates of 75 billion and or reserve managers buy Bitcoin, we see a good chance of an overshoot to 250,000 level at some stage in 2025. Very, very cool. In 2025, we see the ETH to Bitcoin price ratio rising back to 7% level that prevailed for much of 2021 and 22. Standard Chartered said in a separate note, giving our estimated Bitcoin price level of USD 200,000 at end of 2025. That would imply an ETH price of 14,000. Very crazy. And it's all the more reason that you should be buying the dip here. If you're not subscribed to me on Twitter, formerly X, you need to, because this is the kind of sick alpha that you can see. I'm on here. I'm on my Gazelle in an undisclosed location there in the forest that we traveled to this weekend, and it was a lot of fun. Let's see what else we've got going on here. I have a tweet from, Mahagan BTC. The world needs this interview, guys. Throw a 1 in the chat if you would love to see Michael Saylor here on the Joe Rogan podcast. I think that would be so sick. I would definitely listen to that. You'd be very, very awesome. We've got one more article here as we wrap up the show. This is from Binance CEO Richard Tang, and he sees Bitcoin crossing 80,000 by the year end. So this is interesting because you don't hear much from old Richard Tang. He's been busy over there, cleaning up Binance, making it compliant with whatever global authorities want it to be compliant. Let's hear what he had to say. Tang said, with supply reducing and demand continuing to come through, he expects the world's largest cryptocurrency to cross its previous estimate of $80,000 per coin, guys. That's pretty high. That is pretty high. Gotta love it. That's Richard Tang. You don't hear much from him. You used to hear a lot from CZ back when CZ was the CEO of Binance. I think it started pouring rain outside. Sorry, you guys probably can't hear that because my mic is super awesome, but I can, and it's really fun. It's either that or someone's using the sink on the other side of the wall. But that's not why you guys tuned in. We haven't finished the show early in a long time, but we're at risk of doing that. That's funny. I got one more story here. Dog with hat, meme coin's iconic photo. They minted it as an NFT, and it sold for $4.3 million. What is going on with you guys? You need to get a hold on yourself here. This is insane. The 3-day auction went live on NFT Marketplace Foundation on Friday, with crypto trader Gigantic Rebirth Ventures ultimately making the winning bid. Oh my gosh, 1,200 ETH, according to the platform. Oh man. Just for this picture right here. Now, it is a cute pic. I will say, this is a cute picture. This is cute. I will say that. And we're going to leave it on. Let's read some more comments here. DPG604 said, T-Shroom out in the woods looks like he's training to fight Georgia's influencer fight club. Ooh, maybe. Maybe some early rumors starting to swirl around there. DPG604 might not be too far off. Alex Rodriguez, or Alex Rod, I shouldn't presume it's Rodriguez, said, T-Shroom, I wanted to ask you about Vchain Vet. What is your thoughts on price prediction for this bull run? Ooh, well, price prediction, I don't know because it's not one that I chart super often. But I'm generally bullish on it. It's had quite a comeback in 2024, obviously. But let's take a look. Ooh, let's take a look. My first impulse is I want to zoom out a little more. I want to go out to at least the daily here. Let's see here. My second impulse then is to drive in a Fibonacci trend here. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not, actually. Hold on. Well, let's see. Let's see. I don't like that. Let's see. Let's just look at it overall here. I mean, it's in an uptrend. right? Since in 2024, which is nice. So let's just do a regular Fibonacci extension. That is not a regular Fibonacci. All right, well, let's just do it. Let's just do it like this. So if it was to play out this this kind of trend Fibonacci, then we've definitely got a lot of upside. That's for sure. My price prediction, I mean, I think it could come back and test the golden pocket, right? So maybe back up to 5 cents here. From where we lie today, that would be about a 40% move, and that would give it a new 2024 high. Now this baby has cooked in the past. Let's get rid of that fib. Whew. Vchain. Man, this thing has really done well in the past. You can see this move back here in the last bull run, or the 2,600%. So that's quite a bit. We're showing every sign so far that we're in an uptrend here for Vchain. I would say that this has some potential, guys. I mean, I would have wanted it to find, and it looks like it is, finding a lot of support here on these previous highs up here at 3.9. I mean, that's where we're trading right now. We have had wicks down into that level, and it got bought pretty aggressively. So I'd say Vchain's really showing me what I need to see to have confidence in it. Looking at the MACD on the daily chart, you're seeing those red histograms really getting deep, but we could put and accelerating, I'd say. I mean, you're seeing a decelerating level of acceleration. Maybe too early to be speaking like that, but you are seeing those MACD lines coming down. So I think it needs to get out of this bearish phase that it's in right now and go ahead and start to test higher. It doesn't seem to be moving with the rest of the market. Yeah, maybe it does actually. Let's see. Let's throw on BTC. No, it is. It's moving with the rest of the market. Okay. Well, that's pretty good. What happened to my chart? It zoomed all the way out. Yeah, I mean, overall, let's look at the weekly chart and see. Okay, so it's able to stay above the midline of the Bollinger Band here on the weekly chart, which is nice. So it's really found its footing quite well after the bear market here, and I think I don't know. I don't think it'd be a bad buy if you're looking for like a solid altcoin to DCA into. I think that Vchain could be pretty good right here. Let's see what percentage it's got to the upside here. That's a lot. About 600% move potentially to the upside there. Do I think it's going to get that high? I don't know. I'm not in the ecosystem really enough to gauge the buzz, gauge the hype. But overall, Vchain doesn't look too bad. I think it looks pretty decent. All right, guys, I think I might call it there. DCA and Price said, when Vchain goes up, it doesn't retrace. It just goes up. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yes. I love it. All right. Well, one more look here at this NFT that sold for $4.3 million. There you go. I'm just going to go ahead and snatch this image right here and put it on my desktop. No, I'm not. I wouldn't do that because I don't steal, right? I do not steal, except people's hearts and their minds, right? And I thank you so much for being a bro and for coming by and checking it out. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am T Shroom, in for the Investing Bros. Make sure you stay hydrated, guys. And if you're trading, keep those stop losses tight. It is Monday, and I think we had a pretty good episode for a Monday. Usually my Mondays are pretty brutal, but I felt pretty good about this one. AVAX to $70. I think we'll see it here in the next 2 weeks. Bitcoin, we'll see how it continues to handle this 12, 13% pullback, call it, that we've just seen, putting in a lower high, right? So could potentially see a setup for price discovery a bit lower, maybe go down and see that $60 per Bitcoin, $60, goodness gracious, $60,000 per Bitcoin level before a move higher. We'll see. It's all going to be this week. We're going to check it out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when I go live with Tim today. We'll see you then, bros.
paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shrooms News got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Tryna make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.